Welcome back to Gab Street. It is episode 23. We are in a new era now. It is just me as a constant member of this show. Gage was on this show for a great while, and we had a great time, and we built a lot of connections here and a lot of good things with this show. But his time is over. But I do appreciate the time that he had. And we're on to better things. We're on to bigger, better things. It's going to be an awesome time. We still are sponsored by The Green Room. An episode of the Gab Street podcast would not be without a message from The Green Room. We are sponsored for the month of July. After that, we will stop the messages. The Green Room will be a shop opening somewhere in Gehenna, I believe. If you have ever been to a Spencer's or a Hot Topic, it is kind of like there, or a Waterbeds and stuff. They will be selling clothing and tobacco products and stuff like that. So once they open next year, I believe, go ahead and check that place out. Rep your local businesses. Go to a lot of local businesses this year. I recommend that. You'll feel much more fulfilled than if you just go to chain stuff. I can tell you that now. We have something exciting today. My co-host for today. So as I said this last episode, I'm going to be cycling through co-hosts pretty much each episode. Going to have somebody new. There will be some recurring ones. I'm sure my friend Aaron right here will be coming on quite a few episodes here. He's back. He goes by Zay Crypto as his artist name. He's been on 2 other episodes. And say hello.
Hey guys.
I'm back. And he's got something to clear up.
Yo, yeah, are we gonna do that now?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so I want you guys to know I'm not a fucking asshole. Last time I was on here, we were talking about how me and Cory met, and it was on Reddit. And someone mentioned 4chan, and yep. I wanted to be a funny man, and I said, I thought I said, if I met you on 4chan, if I found you on 4chan, I would have definitely not hit you up. But my mind does this thing where sometimes I'll say one word and I mean another word. And I didn't even catch it. And then I was listening back to the episode and I just dead ass said, Cory, if I found you on Reddit, I would have never, ever hit you up. And I just
stone-faced staring me in the eyes. I would have never fucked with you.
He just took it, man. Like...
It's like, Aaron, he's so funny. Let's go on to the next topic. So funny.
Okay, disclaimer, I'm not an asshole.
Savagery.
Oh my god.
I like Cory. If I found you on Reddit, I would have hit you up.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I stay away from 4chan because, it's 4chan.
I understand. Yeah. It's a good place to not go to, I would say.
Yeah.
So the other voices you've been hearing in the background for a few minutes now. We do have 2 guests here. Chaz. They are Marty McFly and Julien from The Emperor Chaz. They are a local neo-soul band with 5 members, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Currently, yes.
So, I brought them on the show today. We're going to chop it up. We're going to talk about how they started, what they do in Columbus, and we're just going to have a good time.
Thoughts that'll leave you with it. My people all divided by sex status and pigment, blinded to what's inside us, they're positive.
Let's get right into it.
No doubt.
So, how do we all know each other? I'm just going to go ahead and, I know we talked about not going too deep into that.
We can do an abridged little thing.
Yeah.
We can do a bridge deal.
I know you guys through a high school friend of mine named Jules, and she does photography for you guys, right?
Yeah.
Like pretty much every concert.
Well, it's been quite a few now. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So
we actually met her. I think she just found Chaz, and she was a big fan. So she was doing projects for school for photography on some Chaz stuff, and now it just comes to the shows, and it's fun.
Sweet. Yeah, and she sells merch for you stuff.
Yeah.
That's sweet. I gotta pick me up one of those shirts soon. I've been meaning to. That'd be sweet.
Heck yeah.
And as we said earlier, I know Aaron through Reddit. He posted on r/Columbus Music. He was like, hey, here's a cool song that I made, right? It was the Fanagram Freestyle or something like that.
Sir.
And then...
okay, so you do music.
Yes, he does do music.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And you'll hear both
good.
Emperor Chaz and Zay Crypto in between the transitions on today's topics.
Thank you, Cory.
So I will...
Just do it once. This is about Emperor
Okay,
Chaz.
Liz.
I'll do it once.
No, I want to hear it.
All the transition music will be provided by people you are hearing here today. So
Hell yeah.
It'll be awesome. Yeah. And let's see. So
Keeping it in-house. Love it.
And you guys know each other because of me just now.
Yeah,
so that's
just
cool. Because we got
We've got that covered.
Yeah. And so, abridged part. How do you guys know each other?
Well, I came into Chaz a little bit later than most everybody. I met them through Adam, our guitar player and like kind of producer.
Okay.
I went to high school with him, and so we would kind of write stuff here and there. And then he graduated, and once he started doing stuff in Columbus with these guys, he messaged me one day, and he was like, "I think this could be a really good fit if you would come up here and, you know, kind of mess around." And so the first time I came up and we all like hashed through stuff, we wrote an entire song that night. So it was like
it was like this guy's a keeper. He's one of the guys. He's gonna be one of the guys. I would. It all started with me and Jared. I had met Jared a while ago, and we are actually Jared Levine, our drummer.
Cool. He is kick-ass.
Beast, by the way.
Oh my god.
I mean, big ups, Jared Levine. Come on,
dude.
I mean, come on. I mean,
is he classically
for Christ's
trained?
sake. He used to be a metal drummer.
Damn.
Back in the day.
That dude can drum, man.
Oh yeah.
Shouts out to you, man. Also, Kevin, right?
Oh,
Kevin, the keyboardist.
Kazicki is our wonderful keyboardist.
You kill it, dude. That was awesome.
And we cannot forget about Adam Davidson.
Yes.
The technician, the fucking mastermind.
Yes.
Plays electric guitar, plays bass sometimes.
Produces, does all sorts of shit.
Hell yeah.
He's kind of too smart. It's a little scary.
Yeah.
Watching all of you guys on stage is an experience because I saw. For example, I went to Bunbury it was like a month ago just now.
Right.
And I saw Clutch there. Clutch played like at the front stage or whatever, and they're pretty cool. You know, they have some awesome music. I'm into their stuff. I can get into some metal, but two of the guys put on a show. Great. The singer, he's like dancing around. He's got the mic like right here. He's like, yeah, you know. I think his name's Neil or something like that. And the drummer's just, you know, losing his mind, going everywhere. And then these other two guys on the guitar are just standing their head down the whole time, not moving anything. And you guys, the way you guys move on stage and the way you guys vibe with the music that you're playing in that given moment is just, it's a show. It's more captivating than a lot of other artists that I've seen play around. Really,
that, yeah.
And I wouldn't say that if I wouldn't say that if I didn't believe it, really, because I've seen some bands that, like Bare Hands, for example, they sound on stage exactly like their studio stuff, and their studio stuff is awesome. They don't do anything on stage. They just stand there and play it like a symphonic band. Like, it's just, you know, they don't move. You know, there's no dancing in the symphonic band. Everybody's sitting in chairs, like their faces are in their stands and shit.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man. Definitely didn't happen overnight. Like, it
takes practice for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it took us.
I think it took us a while to, like, I mean, we've been around for a couple of years, but it's like you spend a lot of time first building up material. So it's like just throwing a ton of stuff together over and over again and figuring out what works and what doesn't. And then eventually it just kind of like clicks and you keep doing the same thing. So I eventually would learn all of, you know, Marty's stuff because I have an auditory memory. And the more we would do it, the more we'd personally get into it and like the song. So it's just a natural reaction.
You've like, you know, you've started really moving around and dancing more. Like we've all you know, turned it up to 11 for sure. You know, 50 plus. Like I can only imagine that we've done like at least 40 some shows at this point, right?
Seriously,
40 or 50.
It hasn't been too many.
So we're just keeping it rolling. You know,
hell yeah.
It's my favorite place to be in the world is on stage with these boys. Like, it's you know, it's in my element. You know.
That's super sweet. That's something I've noticed about Columbus in general, is that the stage presence from everybody who is willing to put themselves on stage is insane. Yeah. The energy is there. They didn't have a label bring them up. You know what I mean? Like, they built themselves. They didn't have somebody carry them to the spotlight. And the work that they put into it really shows.
The grassroots, like,
exactly,
on the ground floor, getting out there, talking to the people. I mean, that's kind of been our whole approach
I mean, that's how it all started. For us, it was just kind of like all about the music at first. That's all we cared about. And then it's like more of the brand and like the marketing comes after that. Like that wasn't really ever our focus. It was just more like on music that we actually enjoy and doing that type of thing. And so when you perform stuff that you actually enjoy versus stuff that you're compromising, your own stuff with the
full creative control.
Yeah, it's a lot more entertaining. And I mean, performance arts in general, it's just like weird, the contrast of like being a stage performer to like being like an entertainer. It can mean a lot of different things, like you were saying, because like a symphonic band isn't going to be like the most visually captivating thing, but it's like in the same category almost. It's just an interesting aspect for sure.
I mean, when Jared rips that solo, I'm feeling that shit so hard. That's just straight up just wild shit.
Oh my god, it's
How
great.
long have you guys been playing together?
I gotta have to say about 2.5 years at
Something
this point.
like that.
Nice.
Yeah. Julien, you got in here about a month afterwards, right?
Right. Yeah. It was basically like.
Yeah, our first we had a monthly residency at Rehab Tavern in Franklin. Oh, shouts out Rehab Tavern, by the way.
I got kicked out of there, but that's cool.
Oh, hey.
I'm not old enough yet. That was where we went. Yeah, both of us got carded and kicked out.
Oh, that's rough.
Yep. And I've been there for a whole hip hop night before, like the Wednesday ones, the break.
Oh yeah.
Like I know Josh Miller. I was there with him for a while, and like I was just in there. I was like 17 years old. And this past time, like, I don't know, a month ago, something like that, they're just like, yeah, no, man, you're too young. Like, we can't have babies in here, man. Like, yeah. That
no
kind of stuff.
No doubt. Soon enough.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Rehab Tavern was was kind of our stop. But that's where we cut our teeth, every last Friday of the month. We write some new shit.
Nice.
Cool. Test it out. And,
The market testing.
Yeah, and then ever since then, we've hit, like, I mean, you name it, we might have played
gone around the Columbus circle.
It's more about where we haven't played at this point.
The Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
So you guys started off as a lowrider cover band, right?
Oh, this is such a meme. Oh, man.
We love saying that. I don't know how true that is.
Really?
But it's like, the whole thing of it is that we do play it like pretty much most of our shows that we've done, like it's snuck in.
Yeah.
It all started because Jared's troll ass would we'd be in that little shitty room in the Dude Locker. And,
first we got to tell him about that. It all so the Dude Locker is where we used to practice before we had the residency. That's like why he was saying we cut our teeth at Rehab, because we would first practice at this rehearsal space off of Clinton Street, I think.
Yeah, for
garage. It's called the Dude Locker.
You can rent out rooms, bunch of different artists.
And it's so we would be like destroying our ears because we're all packed into this tiny room. It's super
We had the
hot.
smallest room in the house. It was like $165 a month. Tiny. You
So
actually, when
small.
all of us were here, you couldn't even fit all of us.
No,
in
yeah,
there.
we would
have to stand in the
whoever
hall.
the vocalist would be just like in the hall, just like going at it.
Yeah.
But
kind of like trying to do an episode of
unair conditioned.
Dude,
just a hellhole.
So then on top of that,
tuned.
Yeah. I mean, relatively.
On top of all of those conditions, you would get like Jared being a troll, and so like every time we would go to like start a song, he would just start playing Lowrider.
It just
And we
specifically
never
just the
learned
cowbell. Like we'd just be fucking around, and then we'd hear ding, 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 and then we're like, fuck, all right, let's play it.
I guess I should change. I don't know if I can say like we play Lowrider though, because it was more or less the point was to not play it well.
Yeah.
Because like we never officially learned it, so we would just like
We have never pre-rehearsed Lowrider. We always just fucking wing it every time.
And then it all started because I think one of the shows, like, people asked for like an encore, and it was before we had a ton of material at all. So Jared just starts doing.
Jared looks at us. He's like, ding, 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 ding. All right, I guess we're doing it.
There's really nothing you can do about that.
That's amazing.
But it's become now people are like, Lowrider. We're like, shit, guys.
That's where the EP name came from.
Should we give it to him?
Oh, really?
It was a mix.
Crow
It was a
Rider.
mix.
Okay, nice. Well, it's on your Spotify bio too.
Yeah,
that's where I got it. That's how I knew about that.
Yeah.
Big meme status. Well, the name Crow Rider is, well, it's Lowrider, and then also
Old Crow whiskey, which is like
the brand.
brand.
Shout out to Old Crow, sponsor us.
Sponsor Gab Street, please.
But yeah, the Old Crow, there was just ever since, like, you were here for that, right?
Yeah, well, I wasn't
was
actually
the
there
first
for
New
the
York.
very moment, but I was there for the whole season, because they came up to, I go to school in New York right now,
Okay.
and so they, one summer we were trying to work on recording the EP that is out now, and so they decided that we're going to book 2 Airbnbs for like 2 separate weeks around Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn,
Okay.
and we're just gonna I will go do my work and then I'll come and meet them out there and we'll work on recordings and stuff, and then we'll all just hang out in New York City for a couple weeks. And
But long story short, the boys just got like just faded as hell in the Central Park, just with a bottle of Old Crow, and
ever since then,
just
been the brand.
Boolin in Central
Nice.
Park.
That's great. Now we're bowling at Wendy's.
Yeah, that would be a great
Out
sponsor
here,
too.
all over the place, man.
Let's have Wendy's sponsor.
I used to go to Wendy's literally all the
Shouts
time.
to Wendy's, sponsor us.
Like
Shouts
weeks,
out.
every week. It was back when I had those
Dave?
like cool Android phones though that you could turn TVs off with.
Dave, my guy.
They always play Fox News in Wendy's. So like I had one of those
yeah.
phones that had the RDF blaster, so I would just walk in and turn it off every time I was like by myself. I'm like trying to eat and be appetized. I don't want to watch Fox News.
That's great. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Dave, hit us up. I want to have Dave Thomas on the podcast. Yo, do you know that burgers don't grow in squares? Boycott Wendy's. We can't have that unnatural
Bruh.
shit.
What?
Bruh.
It's unnatural, man. Burgers don't grow in squares, man. That's not natural.
Yo, Dave's that OG.
Dave's
though.
such a
He
square.
is that OG.
Dave's
Yeah.
a true OG.
Well, he's not here, so he is square. So
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Hey,
Hey, whoa.
Hey.
Slow down.
We'll be here all night.
So let's talk about that EP cover. Okay?
Yeah.
I want
Oh,
to talk
buddy.
about this because it has everything.
It has
Okay?
some stuff hidden, yeah.
So I was told who did it, but I forget.
It was Kevin.
It was Kevin.
The
Kevin
keyboard player,
Kazicki, we have to give him the utmost credit for this. We may have had, the band had a little input in it, but this was Kevin's baby.
Yeah, it was his like project. He put so many
Months.
little Easter eggs from, I mean, not only Columbus, but like Cleveland, because he's from Cleveland,
Yeah.
from like some of our New York experiences and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of stuff hidden in there.
You know how it's like all like high street at like an angle?
Yeah.
We actually rolled around and took pictures of all our favorite spots. Like we were driving slow, probably driving like assholes.
Cruising.
We would take pictures of all our favorite spots from at the same angle. So it's like
Oh yeah. Okay.
so then at that point we started crafting our own little surrealist version of Columbus.
Very nice.
And that's funny, you guys met on Reddit, right? Like
Yeah,
Columbus
yeah.
Music, because we posted it on just r/Columbus.
r/Columbus.
Oh,
And
yeah.
people were.
It got some
It was
good
on the.
traction.
It was on the front page for a while because people were just being like, "Oh, this is in here. This is in here." There was one person that Kevin actually copied their graffiti
Yeah.
and put it on there, and he messaged them and he's like, "I can see my tag on
Nice.
your album." Which
you
is
could zoom
super
in so
cool.
far, you could see his tag.
And it's like
so
definitely
cool, but-
distinguishable. It's super neat.
Oh yeah,
So was he classically trained as an artist too,
he definitely.
or he just?
I know
do
he
it?
went to. Why don't I know shit about my friends? Yeah, he definitely was like
Yeah.
did some college work,
Okay.
college classes. So he basically he's really well versed in Adobe.
Nice. Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's where he did this whole thing. He basically after we linked it all together, he painstakingly used with a pen in Adobe Paint.
Nice.
Actually went in and colored in every little nook and cranny you see of that on that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Just using like real images
this is a
to
months
staple
long
on there.
process. I mean, it's ridiculous. It was such
Worth
a
it.
huge undertaking,
Yeah.
but that's what makes it so special and genuine. Like it looks so like
It's very Columbus.
It's very
Yeah,
Chaz.
it
Yeah,
is.
very Columbus.
Very Chaz. Chaz.
yeah. Shouts to Chaz.
Yeah. I like the construction cranes in the background.
Yeah,
dude.
Well, it wouldn't be Ohio if there wasn't
It
construction
wouldn't,
everywhere.
Dude, it's riddled with me. The line bikes and the scooters all piled up.
That was funny. I was looking at that. I was like, that is so here. That's perfect.
Now, if you look extra close, I don't know if you noticed any of these, but if you zoom in even more, we have even more little Easter eggs with like signage and like
Oh, yeah.
you know,
There's some
we have
real
like Chaz
fuckery.
on ice or something like. Emperor Chaz, the movie, playing at Studio 35.
Nice.
Did you have a sign that says your tax money going toward this project?
Yeah. I mean, I can't even remember all the shit we put in there. But yeah, we do recommend that you scroll all the way in and, see what you can find.
It's an adventure.
It's an interesting thing though that Kevin just like kind of took that upon himself and was able to accomplish all that. It kind of represents the EP in general because I mean we hid on the album cover also like the houses in Maynard Avenue that we would record in. Like most of the EP was recorded in a house or like in a closet with
a soundproof
comforter like over top of me. Like it was basically done in house and stuff. And so it's kind of consistent with the album cover.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking at like a almost 2-year-long process to make this EP. Damn. What happened? Because during this process, we were basically teaching ourselves how to do everything.
Yeah, there was so much like redoing and like making mistakes and like. I mean, the EP almost came out like months and months earlier than it did. Yeah. And then some of the songs we were working on like were corrupted on a hard drive.
Oh. It just happened to be Julian's 2 solo songs.
So I was like, we had to start from
scratch for those 2. So it was a bumski. It was a bumski, but I'm glad we took the time with it because what kind of like the only deadlines we impose would be on ourselves. I mean, it'll come out when it comes out,
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I've put out 2 projects too, and I like the process. I probably should have put more time into it,
Ain't no thing.
For sure.
I know what you mean about that, releasing it earlier than it would have been, and I feel like if I were to do that, like feel like it's ready, I feel like I should wait like that, if I were to feel like something's finished and then keep adding stuff to it. Would you say that's a good idea?
Yeah, I've been really bad about this. Well, not real. I don't know. So I personally I've been rapping for 10 years and I have like a ton of tracks. Okay. Like I'm sitting on like 70 plus Lucy's. I've been working on my debut solo album for 10 years. Yeah. Like it'll happen when it happens, I'll have the right collection of songs and it'll come out.
There's just like tons of Chaz music that's just in the works right now. I mean, that's the interesting part though about moving forward from this EP is that we had like everything to do just by ourselves, so of course a lot of it wasn't going to turn out and we weren't going to focus on some of the right things like the marketing aspect of the EP and like consistently like getting that out there. I don't think was ever in our line as much as just making sure it was music that we liked.
Yeah, we were just like, holy shit guys, it's on Spotify.
Yeah. We did it. It finally dropped. I don't know when it dropped, but tell everybody it's out now. Well,
that's kind of what happened with this podcast because we got it we started out just putting it on SoundCloud or whatever, right. And then the first episode we did, and then we got it on Spotify like 6 episodes later. Mm-hmm. We're like, oh my god, this is crazy. That Spotify factor is huge.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's what you use for everything.
It's crazy how much the music industry has changed to that type of thing.
Exactly, yeah. And you can just go on fucking DistroKid and it's just right on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for a song on Spotify, but it'll get there.
It'll happen.
Yeah. That would be cool.
No doubt.
Yeah, probably this year.
All right, man. We'll rep that shit, best believe.
Oh yeah. So I have a very hard question for you guys. And this is a question that we ask every creative that we have on the episode. It's hard for some people and it's really easy for some people. And as I can see, you guys are very confident in what you do and the fact that it's good. I think it'll be easy for you. So for people who don't really put themselves out there that much, it is harder. So here's a question. As musicians in Columbus, what sets you apart and makes you unique from other artists around here?
There's tons of ways to answer that. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Not too bad.
Definitely.
I think that we just have such an interesting combination of interests and people. I mean, we all kind of met through, when we first got together, we were like, what are some influences that we all draw from? And one of the hugest ones was Hiatus Coyote, because I had, showed Adam that a while ago, and, they all fucked with Hiatus Coyote, so we were all just kind of going around that and, thinking about all of our influences. I think that's probably one thing that has a lot to do with it, because we write really strange things because of how many influences we have. really a lot of groups in Columbus that do neo-soul music, like do a mixture of jazz theory with, you know, hip-hop beats and R&B vocals and stuff like that. It's cool because you can draw in a lot of different people. Like, a lot of people like rap, and a lot of people like, you know, the more musical aspect of it, like how Kevin just rails the keys and like all the nines and added theory and everything. Like, there's a lot of pool in different varieties, I think.
And like old folks will listen to. Like, it's hip hop that even old folks will listen to.
I agree with
as
that.
long as they can get past the rap. Like, there's some old people that just, they hear somebody rapping and they just like shrivel up or something.
Right. But yeah, it's just so wild. We're just a bunch of fucking music nerds. Like, we're just all obsessed with the shit. And so we get to, you know, once we found each other, we were able to geek out about this shit together. And
that's when the magic happens.
Yeah, and it's so cool. Like, how when in our writing process, we're just in there, and somebody tries some dope shit out, and then we're all like, oh shit, that's dope.
Yeah.
Oh, let's keep rolling with that. Like, the five, like, our sets of ears, like, it kind of like hive minds it to like the best, like the coolest sounding shit.
Yeah,
you know, and also, like, you know, just we throw a lot of curveballs at you. You know, like we like just hitting you with random shit, like, you know, time changes or, you know, this and that, like having to lift different like song structure. Like, no song is like quite the same structure to it, but. Yeah, I don't know. We're just having fun and we're experimenting with it, and we're not afraid to you know, try out new shit and get weird with it.
One of the things that I also think separates us is just when people try to describe what they saw to other people. Like, we've found that that's like an interesting experience, because they're always like, "Oh, you guys gotta listen to Chaz," and then they're like, "Okay, well, what is it like?" And they're like, and then sometimes every now and then you'll get like it's kind of like 21 Pilots, but like. Something else.
I wish I would have been keeping track of all the people, of all of the bands and things that like people say they like that we remind them of. Because it would be like a short list of like a couple, like 100. Yeah. Like, it's just like whoever, you know, there's elements of what we do in a lot of different shit. So like it'll remind people. But the great thing is that I think it's a great thing that it's always different.
I think something that you guys have done well, and you know, the message that's associated with traditional jazz music is like, it's music for musicians. Mm-hmm. You know, like nobody else can really get into it that much. Whatever. I love jazz. I'm a huge Dave Brubeck fan personally.
Oh yeah.
You know, so that
one of the big influences in jazz.
Dave Brubeck, Miles Davis. Like, I sampled those guys. Like, that's my shit. You know, and I think what you guys do very well is you make heavy use of music theory that is obviously very complicated, especially with Kevin and what he's been doing with you guys. And, you know, like you said, time changes and such, which is complicated for a lot of people. If you're not a musician, you don't get that, you know. You guys make that palatable. It's not the music for musicians factor. You guys take that and put it on a stage where it's very palatable to a lot of people.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I think that's huge, and I think that's something that you guys, that definitely sets you guys apart.
I think we've just been really inspired by, like, I think there's been a big movement that has a lot to do with hip-hop in kind of bringing jazz back to to the forefront, and it's, I mean, mixing it through other genres too, because like you have everyone from Jacob Collier, who like is on the jazz front, like theory-wise, to I mean, Kendrick Lamar with To Pimp a Butterfly. As soon as that came on the scene, like everybody was trying to add jazz or some type of instrumentational like incorporation into their music.
Yep.
It's kind of brought a lot of just instruments back to hip hop in general. Like like when we were doing Breakaway a while ago, we were the only band like on our stage basically like that had a full instrumented band. Like most other people were just plugging in stuff and remixing. And I mean, not to say that there's anything wrong with that too, because I love production, but like it's just an interesting thing to incorporate with hip hop. I think
I always knew I wanted to have a band to rap with, you know.
Oh yeah.
Because that's a leg up.
The energy from that is more.
Well, when you're trying to put yourself out there, and I'm in love with the collective idea, you know, like the group of guys that are like, all right, it's like the writer's room, you know.
Right.
I love that. I've found that if I'm trying to put myself out there, it is so, because I'm the kind of guy where it's like, well, I don't want to make myself sound haughty and like, oh, you should check me out because I'm cool. I don't like to do that. That's not something I'm interested in. But if I have other people with me, like I used to try to do this YouTube thing with with 5 other buddies, and it felt so good to be like, hey, we're doing this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
This is us. I'm a part of something bigger. Whereas if I'm just like, let's say, like I make beats, and I'll say like, hey, I make beats, check out my beats. That's, I hate that. I don't want to say that to anybody because that just sounds bad. But if I collaborate with somebody, totally fine with that. Like a short little plug here. Aaron and I made a song together called Memento Mori. Yeah. It came out just like a month ago or something like that, a month or 2.
Yeah, probably 2 months.
Something like that.
It was in the works for a while.
What, you got bars?
I got bars.
Oh, you got mad bars. If you guys haven't checked out Zay Crypto and you've been listening to this podcast before this, fuck you, okay? Because you gotta listen to this music, all right?
My guy.
You gotta check it out. It's on SoundCloud. It's gonna be on Spotify. But it
is gonna be on Spotify.
It will.
One day.
We're gonna get that distro kid out there. It's gonna be great.
That song I showed you today, that's gonna be on Spotify.
Oh hell yeah! He showed me some stuff. He's been cooking hard. Yeah. So, but we did a track on Memento Mori. Yeah. I made the beat a while ago, and I sampled like Victor Ewald, like a Russian composer for like old, symphonic shit.
That shit was hard.
It was all brass, and I made it like a proto like DMX like. Hard, like kind of like bassy.
You got some barks in there?
No, I don't actually.
I'm always writing. Let's cook.
Yeah,
we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this.
Let's do it.
Like I said, I got Lucy's on Lucy's. I got shit that needs features, like whatever.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to collab more this year for sure. Put myself out there, man.
Yeah, let's collab, please.
Honestly, that'd be dope.
That'd be.
Oh yeah, no, it's already happening. It's definitely 100% happening. I mean,
you guys gotta meet my producer too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
We gotta get him out there. His name's Luke Chioka.
Chioka, my guy, my brother,
aka my guy.
Yeah. Chat. Back on episode 5, we had both this man, Zay, or Aaron, and Luke Chioka. And Luke
my rap name's just gonna be like Zay or Aaron now.
Yeah, Zay. Zay or Aaron, whatever you want. Let the listeners decide. That's the way it is. But Luke is a killer producer, so he makes some pretty hot shit.
And nobody fucking knows about him, man.
Yeah.
Like, literally nobody knows about him.
Well, he's like me, where he doesn't want to put himself out there like that. He has to have a collective.
Yo, he's really concerned that, like, some trap artist is going to find his beats and want to get on him, too.
Oh, man.
He's like, no, don't touch my baby.
Get some Blueface on Luke Chioka's beats. That'd be great. Oh, okay, but... I'm taking a gamble. Shit out there for anybody with 2 ears that cares about good music. One more question before we take a quick break.
Yeah.
Are you guys ever going to collab with another like band in Columbus? I'll name a few: Mistar Anderson, Fortune Orange, Booty and the Kid. Because if you guys brought like the vocalists from those other artists, or maybe some of their musicians, and had like a jam session and made some tracks, that would be amazing.
We do have a show coming up with Mr.
Anderson
on
and
Thursday.
Funny you mention that because we have jammed with Mr. Anderson on stage. Yes,
that is so cool.
Shouts to Eric Rollins, my guy, Mr. Anderson. They've been the boys for a minute.
We listen to all the names you know.
We've been in talks about collaborating. Like, I mean, Eric and I are definitely we're gonna be on each other's stuff, like solo stuff, but also like we're definitely. That's in the pipeline.
Yes.
We even had an early concept for like a project where we were gonna basically just kind of like have like an Ohio or like a Columbus like Chaz and Friends like mixtape where like just a ton of local people and then Chaz playing.
That sounds kind of like Crisis Averted.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Cory made. Shout out to Cory.
You know about that? Thanks for the plug. I appreciate it. That was my first ever project that I released a year ago, actually. I had like 6 other artists on my beats, and they were like the first beats I ever made, so it was amazing, but
Well, it's funny you say that too, because the Emperor Chaz actually has repeatedly backed Mir. If you've heard of Mir.
Yeah, I know Mir. She's fucking dope.
Yeah, so Chaz is the backing band for Mir too.
Yeah.
Like routinely. Then they under the moniker the Spice Boys.
Nice.
Which you know, we can get into that later.
That sounds like
Spice
a good...
Boys.
Shouts to
Yeah,
Spice
Street
Boys.
exclusive.
That's great.
Very nice. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. You'll hear a sponsorship message for like a minute, and then we'll be right back in. And before and after the message, you will hear some hot Chaz. So we'll be right back with you.
Piping hot Chaz.
An episode of the Gab Street Podcast would not be without a mention of the Green Room. We are still sponsored for the month of July. Thank you very much, Green Room, for covering our distribution costs. Go check out that place. It's going to be open next year, sometime, or maybe near the end of this year. I'm not sure, but it's like a Spencer's or a Hot Topic or a Waterbeds and stuff. Remember to go check that out. We've been repping that place hard, so don't forget about that. We are also trying to get some Gab Street merch in that store, so let's see how that goes. Go check out our stuff. We do have a Ko-fi page where you can donate $3 or more on there. It's kind of like a Patreon, only it can be a one-time thing too. So it's pretty easy. You just drop some coffee money in there. That's why it's called Ko-fi. ko-fi.com/Gab Street Podcast. We also do have t-shirts on the Redbubble store. If you go to redbubble.com/people/Gab_Street or Gab Street Podcast, one of those, just try them both, whichever one works. And we do have stuff there as well. You can buy the Kenneth meme, three things shirt, and all sorts of other stuff. We will have more stuff coming out on there, and we're going to try and stay active on the Instagram, so keep up with that. And shouts again to Gage Stifler for helping me start out the show and make it what it is today. I would not have been able to do this without you, so thank you very much for going through this journey with me, and I hope to have you again on the show at some point in the future. Good luck in your future endeavors, and back to Chaz. Chaz?
Yeah.
Welcome back to Gab Street, episode 23. We are still out here with Aaron / Say Crypto and the two vocalists from The Emperor Chaz, Marty McFly and Julien, Chaz, and
Yeah.
we got more topics for you. Don't worry. You just heard a sponsorship message. I hope that didn't bore you too much, but we're back with the vibes in a literal sense. So we will,
bars. Okay.
bars. Yeah, I came up with that myself. I'm so glad to hear that. So I know we already kind of touched on this, but I just wanted to. Really let the viewers know how much effort actually goes into your live show and your recordings and what comes out, what we all hear, and what we see on stage. How much work goes into what you guys do?
Well, I think it's a lot.
With the EP in particular, a colossal amount of work. I can't wait.
Yeah, because the thing about that EP is it was just like our first attempt at so many different aspects of being a band that and since we were accomplishing it all basically by ourselves without a label or anything like that, it really takes a while to get to the point where you're consistently happy with what you're posting.
But now I feel like we have become it's a lot more streamlined this time around. We've had our flow and our rhythm of how we create, and then also we know what we're doing now on the technical side of it, so we
also have a lot more connections the further we've gone. And I just think that we usually rehearse about 3 times a week if we're just, and that can include practice for live shows or working on the new material. It just depends on the day and what we're accomplishing.
Yeah. And as far as preparing for live shows and the work that goes into the live show front is at this point, we've been doing a lot of these songs for so long now that if we get a few practices in, we'll be good. However, this month, we get 9 shows in July. We still have more. 10. We're maybe halfway through it, but now we're just basically just the rehearsle is the last show.
Yeah.
Okay. We're just
we've kind of synced back up with each other. And
that's cool. Yeah. and managing a group of people like that I've had a little bit of experience with it.
It can be a task.
It's difficult, and I have a lot of respect for people that can do that very well. And it seems like you guys really have it together. You guys have
sometimes
a lot of.
Well, I'm glad it seems that way.
You guys show a lot of chemistry on stage.
Great.
Yes, it certainly did. Yes, I felt like you guys were in sync on stage. So
oh yeah, at the end of the day, we all just like hanging out. I mean, because when the show's over, we just.
That's important.
Fuck around for like until 2 or 3 a.m. Like it's just the same vibe you get on stage is kind of what comes off of it. I think that's what I want it to be that way.
Yeah.
I want it to be that authentic to where it's like.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's kind of this persona that people fall into that's a mistake of just like taking yourselves a little too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'd work very well for Chaz if we took ourselves super seriously, because we're not what you would expect to see when you ask about the genre that we're doing or like the type of music we're making.
Right.
Like I just think that's an interesting.
Yeah, we just fucking love Boolin, man. Just love Boolin. I can't. When I hop off of that stage, like I can't go to sleep. I can't go to sleep. Like I'm so jacked up on adrenaline that like I can be sober as a gopher and like will go to sleep at 5 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. Like I can't do it.
I mean, I've never been on stage like that before, and I can bet that it would be, at least for me right now, like we haven't gotten past like stage fright or anything like that at all, really.
It's like a whole thing.
I don't know, man. I have a feeling like I might be good at being on stage, but...
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people get nervous, and that's a good thing. I mean, one of the things my private teacher at school, at like college, has told me a lot. I'm studying I'm studying opera at school, so it's a very different thing. But she always mentions how, I'm sorry, I just totally forgot what we were talking about.
Stage fright.
Oh yeah, the energy that you get from being nervous. That nervous energy is like terrifying, and it's really hard to overcome, but if you can actually use it for your advantage, that's how you really do an electrifying performance. That's what she always tells me, that like people that have that energy actually have a hidden advantage that they don't know about. So it's like it's a good thing to have to work through, and it's definitely something that we've just, I think, worked through. I mean, my mom's a music teacher, so I grew up just around the environment of music and being on stage, so it's been kind of like ingrained in me.
I always wanted, to be honest, I don't think I ever really had a problem getting on stage.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
I did like theater and stuff, and like,
Yeah, I haven't done theater, but I've done some public speaking when I was younger. And
if they would if it wasn't 21 up, Rehab Tavern Wednesday.
I know, right?
Where you would sharpen your bars.
I went there with Cory.
That is the place.
For my debut, I had some bars to spit and everything.
Oh no!
And they kicked us out, man.
That sucks.
I know. I'll be 21 in 3 months, though.
Oh, dude, I'm coming. You gotta come through, man. I'll spit some bars.
Hell yeah.
Some bars.
That'd be fun, man.
That is it's a room full of rappers, and it's just like ciphers and bars.
Yeah, I think that energy would be amazing.
Yeah.
I got 3 years, though, so give me a little more time. Nah,
well,
2 years,
you never know. Like, you could, the bitch might not be working next time.
Hey, Marty, can you talk to the guys in there? And just let me in, please. Yeah.
Like you said,
we're doing a show, we just sneak you in through the back door, like load you in with the equipment. Be fine.
All right, cool. Just stow me in a guitar case.
Aren't we just all narking ourselves right now, though?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well,
we're not gonna do any of that.
That was all not supposed to be recorded, obviously. I'm gonna say I'm gonna edit that out, but then in the post-production process, I'm not gonna edit that shit out. So, speaking of shows, got a question that you guys seem excited for. What are your best and worst show stories of your musical careers?
Do you want to pick one for both, and then I'll pick one for both too, so we can like pick separate answers?
Ooh.
I mean, maybe we have the same answer though. Of musical career or of Chaz career?
Either one really. I guess more Chaz, but
I would say more Chaz.
If you have one that's not Chaz, that's.
I would say, the Granville.
Yeah, I would say so too. But I'll pick a different one. You can use that one for yours.
Oh, fuck. This is bad.
So I graduated from Granville High School, right? And they do like a 4th of July festival that I had been involved in for like years and years. And so I was like, I just emailed the guy that I had emailed the past couple of years, and I said, I have a group we could play at the end of like was it on the 3rd or the 4th?
I think it was the 3rd.
And they got back to us and they were like, oh yeah, we'd love to have you, and can you censor your music? And so Marty had to be censor McFly, and
I had to
make up like
I had to in real time censor my own lyrics.
Damn.
And it had me fucking bugging. I was actually nervous. Now that show I was nervous.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to drop some F-bombs in front of all these kids.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like you forget.
I have to just I just like pulled the mic away a lot. Sometimes I would like sometimes I would edit. I would have a PG version of a lyric, like
the king and the cat.
the one. I said the real lyric was "You're so full of shit, you never had an asshole," and I changed that to "You ain't been a king, you never had a castle."
Okay, yeah, I fuck with that.
But on top of that, we had this weird like intro thing for this one song that we just just threw it in there last night, and then
this is the funniest.
The whole fucking song was off. Like
the whole time.
We never quite recovered.
It was so, and the sound was really bad. The guy was doing it off of an iPad, which I never think is a great sign to begin with. And
not to mention, we got a speeding ticket on the way.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a speeding ticket. And then I was singing like the first song that I was singing, and I went to hit like the first like really loud high note into the first chorus, and it just blew it. Blew out everything.
Oh my
and
God.
So then, it's lucky though, because like one of the things that I love about Chaz is that deep down, because we all really like music, we're all musicians, and so on the spot they just started vamping. And like they can do that because like we're musicians, so we can just do that until they fixed it. But it was still not the best show. That was probably one of the worst, I would say.
Yeah. I just like that one takes the cake for sure.
Wow.
Otherwise, like other things are just like little gripes with the sound here and there.
Yeah, we just did a show here really recently that like one of the speakers blew out for the second like act at the very first song, so then you could like barely hear the vocals for the whole rest of their act, and then it was so hot.
Luckily our bass player Miguel, like our new bass player, shouts to Miguel.
Oh yeah, shouts to Miguel. What's up, Miguel?
Yeah. He's like a really good sound guy, so we were able to jerry rig up a way to make it work.
We took the monitors and turned them around.
It's about the improvising.
Nice.
That's awesome. But it was like very on the spot.
Overcome all that.
Nice.
Yeah, best shows though.
Best shows.
That's more difficult. I really had a good time at the Woodlands Tavern show.
Woodlands Tavern was some.
It was
real
fun because we got
energy.
to debut some of our more like newer stuff from after like.
We had
right
2 brand new songs right off the presses. People fucked with them too. Like,
there was a cool lights guy. Like there was a guy that was running the sound, and then there was a guy that was helping him. But they have a nice light system there, so he was like, "Hey, do you guys mind if I like just kind of add some lights and mess around with the songs and like try to do it to the music?" And we were like, "Of course not." And then it ended up being really, really cool. It was a really fun time, and it looked really nice.
That's cool.
I feel like we were super tight at Grog Shop too.
Oh, that was my favorite one by far that we played in July so far. We got to go up to Cleveland and do the Grog Shop, and like
wasn't that like last week or something?
Yeah, and the turnout wasn't like crazy because we were doing it on a Tuesday, the same day as the championship game for. And so,
but it had been our first. Wasn't that the first of like this crazy marathon section?
Basically, and just the Grog Shop too was awesome.
It just felt really nice good. Venue. We felt like we were super like on tempo. We were super just feeling it, and it's like it was like it's good to be back. On stage.
Sure. Yeah,
I've heard of that venue through Joey H because he's actually from Cleveland.
Yeah.
So is our boy Kev.
Nice, cool.
That's why he was the most geeked, I think.
Shit.
Yeah.
He was fucking besides himself.
Do you guys fuck with Joey H at all? You guys know
Joey
him?
H? I don't know if I'm familiar.
Okay, he's from Woodmere Village. He raps that a lot in his music. He's from up north. He moved down here, I don't know, a year ago, something like that. But I met him at 2x2 Fest. You know what 2x2 is?
Yeah.
We're going to 2x2 this year, so you guys better be there.
We'll be bowling.
Yeah. I'm going to be there like the whole 12 hours.
I don't think we're going to be like playing, but we will be
that's cool.
bowling heavily.
Dude, it's a Boolin festival. Yeah.
No doubt.
They had Blueprint there last year.
Yeah.
I actually drove Prof to it last year. So that was cool. Because I volunteered there for like 3 years, and I'm just going there this year. I'm just gonna chill. So, yeah, the shouts out to those guys over at 2x2, Josh and Cole and all of them, and Danielle. You guys are super cool.
Fucking respond to my email, like.
You gotta get these 16 bar competitions going, man.
Yeah.
But
some hostility, guys.
You guys are cool.
But if you don't respond, it's all cool. I'm really just excited to actually be at a hip hop festival. I've never done that before.
Yeah, it's the only one that I actually really fuck with around here.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest, like
I totally agree.
Yeah, I've never been to Breakaway.
I agree with you on that front. I mean, we had a fun time just being included in that because we were so new at the time.
I'm actually it was insane to have that on the resume.
To have our merch being right next to like not only Flatbush Zombies but like
our merch was
stuff.
Next to the Migos' merch.
That's
fucking
that was
cool.
Weird. That was like a weird experience to have just right off the bat. But yeah, I mean it's an interesting thing, but it's definitely not my favorite.
Breakaway actually, it's becoming. They want it to become like mostly EDM festival at this point.
Yeah.
So
I saw like Diplo was there.
Yeah, we were fortunate to have gotten in there when it still when we were still like it made sense for us to be there.
Yeah, Joey H did I think the opening act there.
Lit.
2
you didn't
years ago or something like that.
I'd love to meet him.
Yeah, no, he's a great dude. I've known him since 2016. He's a great rapper. I love his music.
Shouts to Joey H.
Shouts out to Joey H. and Woodmere Village. Somewhere.
Big ups.
Somewhere south of the north border, something like that. So
yeah,
you guys are cool. So we talked about the best and worst shows. Unless you guys have more best shows.
I think
that pretty much sums it up.
Like a couple good ones, a couple bad.
All the other ones are like somewhere in between.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys? Credits to Aaron here. What are your guys' music influences?
Yeah, I'm curious.
I know there's so many, but
that's such a big question.
Well,
you want to start, Marty?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So if I'm talking about my MC influences, my rap influences, my style.
Yeah. What made you fall in love with hip hop?
We can trace it back to actually one particular instance. And that is "Look at Me Now." That was Busta Rhymes' verse on "Look at Me Now." If we recall this,
I do. Yeah,
quite a few years ago. That's probably when I started. It was almost 10 years ago. So I was like a passive rap fan. I'd always been into like a bunch of stuff, but like when I heard that verse, that turned me into a rap. Like I started studying rap. Yeah, I was like, how can you do this?
The scholar.
So I started with Busta Rhymes, and since then I have just like dove balls deep into hip hop, and I just have been engulfed in it. Yeah. So from all over like the U.S., all the different, like the West Coast, Southern shit, this and that. But New York is probably the biggest pool of my influences. So you got Busta Rhymes, Jay-Z, Big L, Big Pun. Mos Def, Talib Kweli. I would say LP is one of my very, very favorites.
He's an amazing producer.
Definitely huge influence of mine. One of my favorite producers as well.
Oh yeah.
Outkast and
nice.
like UGK and like just I don't know, like just basically I mean, I have to say, I feel like I always overlook him because it's like that's so obvious. But MF Doom is my biggest.
Yeah, your ring
like at the top. I don't have it with me, but I have like an MF Doom ring.
Nice.
It's like this, like a gold ring in his mask.
Dude. I want one of those.
Yeah, so
awesome.
he's like the Godfather for me.
I have a Mad Villainy poster in my box.
It's most lit.
It's like fucking huge.
Super essential. Chaz listening.
Oh yeah.
So. Yeah, and then a lot of new cats are doing it really dope as well, but that's kind of where my bread and butter is as an MC. Now, if we're talking about just music in general, I mean, Beatles shaped my early taste, like in third grade on, and then
Beatles is dope.
And then I was big into Gorillaz, of course.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Chili Peppers for a while. I was really into. And then I started getting into the weird shit, like the weirder progressive shit. Frank Zappa is one of my all-time favorites.
Nice.
The wild stuff. And then, you know, well, I'm gonna say Nujabes for sure.
Yeah. Nujabes is fantastic.
And
R.I.P.
Yeah, Nujabes, Madlib, Dilla, all that whole thing. You know, part of the whole rap studies, like, and you know, because I keep an eye. Close eye on the producers as close as the rappers, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But that pretty much sums it up for me, I guess.
Cool.
I feel like we have a lot.
We
of
could go on for a fucking
and
second.
I mean, I'm sure that a ton of those are like similar for me. It's my like story with that. I guess I could say as a vocalist or as just a musician. As a musician, I like grew up with my mom being a piano and voice teacher in a really small town, and so that was an interesting experience because it was very much a catalyst for just any type of music. She taught piano, so I grew up really loving classical music and having a really deep respect for that because she went to school for like singing classically.
Yeah.
And so that was a lot of my experiences, and I was in the Cincinnati Boy Choir growing up, so it was a lot of classical music. I have a lot of like Elton John, the Beatles, of course. My mom grew up when like the Beatles were, you know, on their thing, so she had a whole vinyl collection of tons of Beatles records, which was just like my favorite thing in the world to listen to. But so like Billy Joel, Elton John, the Beatles, and then like a lot of classical music and jazz music was what I was listening to. But vocally, around that time, I mostly listened to the same things and some like Aretha Franklin, Annie Lennox. Like I really liked listening to like really powerful women's voices.
Yeah.
I just thought that was like my favorite thing. I could just go on and on. We've answered this question so many times too. It's like hard to pick specifics, but newer people, I mean, some of the ones that you didn't mention that I liked, like when I started bridging outside of just opera and classical music and the classics, like classic rock and whatever, was probably 808s and Heartbreak. Like when I first started hearing some Kanye, like I wasn't allowed to.
Old Kanye, new Kanye?
Probably old Kanye.
In the poll.
Kanye.
Old Kanye, new Kanye is the biggest meme on this show. I have been saying that in like 7 or 8 episodes since we started.
Give it to me all.
I definitely have to say old Kanye because that was like what got me into hip hop. I remember I heard his song that he did with Daft Punk because I was really into Daft Punk at that age. Yeah. And I was like, this is really cool that he can. What is a sample? I don't understand. Like, what is an 808? I don't understand. Like, and so I was into it, and of course I wasn't allowed to listen to that type of stuff at the time. I would just LimeWire, like all of his, like. But that really broke me into like hip hop in a way that was interesting because Kanye mixed singing with rapping, kind of. You know, he's not really like bars MC heavy compared to a lot of the main rappers, but he influences both sides of it. So that kind of like opened up the doors for me to get more into rap. But like nowadays, I mean, you didn't mention Kendrick Lamar, and we listen to him all the time. Gotta throw him out there.
I didn't mention a lot of the contemporary.
I think my favorite region might actually be Chicago rap. Like I mean, Saba is like No Name and Saba. I listen to nonstop. But especially like Saba and like I mean Vince Staples is like savage. You guys like that kid is crazy.
JID is one of the hottest right now. Yeah. He's gonna be the next greatest.
I wouldn't want to mess with Vince Staples. I think the progression he's on. He's only like 26, I think, and he's just like wild. Damn. I think his stuff has always been good. I've always been like a big fan, and so like I don't know. I like Chicago though. But yeah, I like most music, I think.
I fucks with some Danny Brown heavy.
Hell yeah.
Same, dude.
Danny Brown. Yeah.
Action Bronson is my guy.
Fuck yeah. I love Action Bronson.
Flapper Zombies, as we talked about before.
Yeah, Mac Miller was like a huge...
I've been telling Cory he needs to listen to Flatbush Zombies.
My only exposure so far is the Escape from New York Beast Coast album.
Cool.
But that's the only exposure.
It's not their best piece of work. I really think you should listen to Better Off Dead.
If that's not their best piece of work, I need to listen to their shit, because I love Beast Coast.
Honestly, I think Vacation in Hell is just, as an album, like their best work ever. I got it on vinyl twice,
Nice.
I opened that once,
Fucking
but I'm
twice.
saving the other one. I'm gonna sell it like in like 2 years and make $500.
Nice.
Other influences, like specifically kind of doing similar things to us right now, like we listen to Anderson .Paak all the time too.
Yeah,
Like, he's fucking wild live. I think he's just inspirational the way he sets up his live shows. I think like Travis Scott and Tyler the Creator both have individual ways of being so animated when they're live. Like, I really take a lot of inspiration from that, or at least I want to try to, because like they're just so engaging in themselves at the same time. It's like so interesting to me that they can have such a draw by just being so much of themselves on the stage. It's just like, it's a cool concept.
Yeah, I think we completely glossed over like Tame Impala.
How did I not mention that?
I mean, for fuck's sake.
That's like one of my favorite bands in the world. Like, Kevin Parker's probably my favorite producer right now.
Yeah. Tame Impala, Toro y Moi, Unknown Moral Orchestra.
Nice.
Mild High Club. Like, I like this.
Kate Renata.
I'm really... Oh, Kate Renata, what the fuck?
Bus Ride.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know.
Big shit popping.
Oh, you gotta listen to his whole 99.999 whatever percent. That album is like, I remember I found that in like a summertime right before, and I was just...
It's one of my probably most played projects in the last few years.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
It's like...
It's like, his production is so palatable and unique that it's like, when I found that album, I just go back to it so often.
He's like from Toronto, but he's originally from Kenya. So you hear like he's doing this really fresh shit, like getting some Kenyan rhythms, like introduced to like this type of cool, modern neo soul type shit that like a lot of these people are doing.
I love that.
Nerd. We didn't mention Nerd either.
Nerd. Pharrell Williams.
Yeah, Pharrell Williams. Like, are you kidding me?
Pharrell Williams. Huge influence.
Their newest album that... Oh, man. That was wild. What was that?
That became part of the DNA, for sure.
I can't remember.
It's called No One Ever Really Dies.
Yeah, No One Ever Really Dies.
Did you all get it?
Kites on
it was the one with Lemon on it?
Oh, yeah, you gotta hear some of those.
Lemon.
There's some
that song?
banging songs.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
That's by Pharrell.
You guys...
He's got 2 separate Kendrick features on there.
I haven't really listened to much Pharrell.
Just hear that album.
Just listen
to
hear
that album. That's gonna be one at the top of your list.
What's it called?
It's No One Ever Really Dies.
Oh, Nerd.
By
Nerd,
NERD.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, we gotta mix our libraries a little bit.
Oh yeah,
No one
good
ever-
stuff.
my favorite shit to do, man.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, opera composers, though... No, I'm kidding.
You can talk about those if you want.
That's alright. I'm not...
I mentioned Victor Ewald already.
That's true. I didn't even know who that was. Because
Yeah.
I've had to take so much like music history over the past couple of years.
I understand. I was in marching band for 4 years.
Well, that's fun. I was also in
symphonic.
marching band. Yeah,
Okay, cool. What'd you play?
All through high school. It's actually a great question because I played a lot of different stuff.
Nice.
By the time I graduated, I started on tenor sax.
Nice.
I switched to bari sax my 8th grade and freshman year of marching band. And that was kind of funny because I was not the biggest, and I was carrying a massive, massive instrument. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen a bari sax.
I have. Yeah.
It weighs very much, and like it also takes a lot of breath to like play while you're marching, and so I do think that helped me build up some breath support.
Nice.
But eventually, I think it was after my. It was either after my freshman. No, it was after my sophomore year. I think. A lot of the people that were graduating were in the percussion section of the marching band, and so they had a lot of openings. And I had always thought that like the quint toms, like the pitched drums, kind of the drum major job was always like a cool thing to me. And so I auditioned, for that role, just not thinking that much of it because there was a lot of percussionists trying to do it. But like the auditory aspect of the cadences, like it being on pitched drums, helped me learn it so quickly that I just like really enjoyed doing percussion for marching band the most, I think.
Cool. Yeah, I played trombone all 4 of my years.
My senior year I was co-president with my friend Matt Thompson, who goes to OU now for like stuff. Shout out Matt. Shout out Nuggets.
Shout out my boy Matt.
Shout out Nuggets.
Does that have anything to do with Boolin at Wendy's?
I am positive.
It all does.
Doesn't everything come back to bowling at Wendy's eventually?
It does, yes. The original communication for this episode.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
No doubt.
So, I do have a discussion question for you guys. By the way, this is, I don't know if I mentioned that it's the new bit, but it is the new bit on Gab Street. Gab Street exclusive. You heard it here first. It's, I'm going to have a different discussion topic every single episode that we have a creative on, or just really anybody that does anything. I want to ask him a question about an overlying issue that may be over whatever they do, their field of creativity or whatever they do. Last episode with a guest, we did one with Joey H, where I asked him, how do you feel about focusing on numbers when it comes to music? Like, looking at your plays, or me looking at Gab Street's downloads and stuff, stuff like that. The question I want to ask you guys today, it was inspired by episode 19. I had Sam Rothstein on here.
Shout out Sam Rothstein.
Shout out Sam Rothstein. Go to Cloud City on September 7th this year. Please go. It'll be fucking dope.
Dude, the pre-event was fucking great.
Parking was so shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I totally would have, but I didn't live down here yet. But I didn't mention that in the episode yet. I now live downtown. This is my third day living here, so this is pretty exciting. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I'm pretty jealous of Cory.
I mean,
it's nice.
It's pretty lit.
Yeah. It's a pretty nice area, yes. But he brought up how Columbus artists, and this is why he does Pipeline 614, where he has artists from Cleveland and artists from Cincinnati coming to Columbus, and likewise Columbus to both of the other cities.
Right.
And they're having artists make connections in these other cities. It's not quite outside of Ohio yet, but he said that Columbus, for a lot of artists here, if you're a Columbus artist and you say like, hey, we're from Columbus, we're repping Columbus, you get Columbus people to come to your show. That's a thing. You get people at your shows and you get ticket sales, but when you, as a Columbus artist, go outside that bubble, jack shit happens, and that's what that's what he brought up on that episode, and it's just not nearly that successful. And I just wanted to ask all three of you really what your opinions are on that.
So, for a couple of years, I've been trying to figure this shit out, and what I've been talking with a lot of people about this, and what we think that Columbus can become one of the next great music cities, like a Tennessee or an Austin or a Seattle or this and that. But a couple of things have to happen. One, artists got to link up and support each other. Some more, there had been a tendency for artists to be a little cliquey back in the day.
Yeah.
Which we've been trying to change. For example, every artist we come across, we're like, oh yeah, we support, and we'd like to become friends with, and get them on bills and vice versa. And then so the other thing is, I've been talking with a guy on the Columbus Commission of Music about what the city, if the city can put money into provide funding and incentives. Or put money into the music scene.
Yeah.
Another big thing I think is supporting the venues that take care of the artists. The way that the artist venue relationship around here too. And making the ones that take care of their artists, making those more of a scene. But yeah, these things, if they because we're on the brink. I really do feel like we're on the brink.
I think a lot of people say that because Columbus has such a large and vibrant underground hip-hop scene, but there hasn't really been a breakthrough artist onto the mainstream.
Yeah.
Very, very much.
Now, we're getting close. Now, we're Doobie. You guys know Doobie?
Yeah.
Doobie has, shouts to Doobie, man. That he's getting up there. He just did a song with DaBaby.
That's
Did
awesome.
he?
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
out here.
Nice.
Yeah. Columbus needs more rock stars.
He's in LA. He's based out of LA, but he reps Columbus super hard. He always comes back here. He has a recording studio here.
It definitely can feel like a bubble, but at the end of the day, I feel like you either have it or you don't, and a lot more comes down to the communication and planning to like draw people to your show. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter where somebody's from as long as what they're doing is good or like they can actually do what they're saying. Because I like going to school in New York City. It's a really interesting experience because everybody's there from who knows where, but they're all coming together to do one very specific thing, and it doesn't matter where you're from as long as you're capable of doing what they came to see.
I don't want to just jump ship and go to LA or New York.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
I've decried that on this show.
Yeah, like I want to be able to do it here.
Yeah. We can do it here. I think. Don't you think the branding is important too? Like, I think Columbus could use some better branding.
Yeah,
we have a lot of
no doubt.
We have a lot of talent in this city. It's just the talent is all in the music. Like, one thing that Doobie does really good is he does his branding very well.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen branding like that come out of Columbus.
Right.
And honestly, we kind of live in a climate where, to a certain extent, branding is worth more than.
Well, nowadays in music, it is the brand that you're selling.
You gotta play the game a little bit.
Yeah, you'd have to play the game, and not to say that the music isn't a factor, but I think Columbus could use some more branding, something kind of like more hip. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah, it's just all about like linking everyone up and like working towards this thing.
Yeah,
and having
I think once people realize what's going on,
the tide
in the city,
is changing.
It's gonna change.
I live
I think
breathe this city. Like I grew up in Clintonville, and I just like have so much love for the city, and I want to see to see the city come up, and I want to come up with it.
I think the average hip hop listener doesn't really they like view Columbus as a flyover city.
Well, no, yeah, because like, god damn it, dude. I know, like we need the Midwest. Like, I mean, we do have like wild stuff coming out of the Midwest. You know, a lot of big artists came out, Cleveland, obviously, and then Detroit, of course, and all that. But Columbus, we're about to do it. We're about to do it. That's all I got to say. We're about to do it.
And that's what this show's all about. Honestly, that's what this show is all about. Because I'm trying to strengthen the respiratory system of Columbus in a way where we're all supporting each other, right? Just like you said, respiratory system. I should use that.
Big bars.
But I like the support veins here. The heart. The heart, 270 kind of looks like a heart with all the on Google Maps, all the roads and shit. I'm actually planning on getting that as a tattoo, 270, just like
cool.
like the yellow shit on Google Maps. I just want that right here. So that's what I'm planning on.
For so.
But I also want to somehow. I haven't really reached out to other places yet, but I want to make sure that the message is heard. But the first mission is to get people to invest in their own surroundings, because there are a lot of people here. No names or anything. Don't worry about it. If it's not you, it's not you. But probably know who you are. You live here, and you think to yourself, "Wow, I live in Columbus. I got to get out of here immediately. I got to get out of here as fast as possible." I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Ohio. I'm in Cornland.
It's not for everyone. Like
it's not for everybody. But also, if you haven't seen what the city has to offer too.
Yeah.
You don't know.
I mean, it's just like an entitled way to look at it, because like I grew up on like a farm in the middle of like New Vienna or like Hillsboro, Ohio. So like for them to say that this is the middle of the cornfield, I'm like, if you honestly can't find something to do in Columbus, then I don't know where you're gonna go that's gonna be all that better, unless it's something specific that you're trying to do that isn't here.
Exactly.
It's just like a dumb excuse.
Yeah. So typically I try to represent as much as possible on here that this is a nesting ground for so many fantastic things to happen that are already happening, that are going to happen, that already happened. There's so much history here, and I think a lot of people need to. Oh, speaking of Ohio history, I'm gonna shout out Alex Hasty over at the Ohio v. the World podcast. You guys rock. I've listened to all of season 1 of you guys, so keep up on the good work there. I actually have a t-shirt from you. So Alex Hasty, you're a cool guy. But invest in your local surroundings. Just check out where you are. I think that's important.
That's right.
Yes.
Let's get this bread.
Yes. So I have another topic.
Okay.
And I believe this is the last one for today.
Oh yeah?
Something that an associate of yours gave me information about a few months ago.
Oh.
That was apparently under wraps. But
Is that right?
I want to ask about prim and proper.
Oh boy. Oh, we're going out with a bang here.
Oh boy.
Love
Yeah,
it.
that's going out with a bang.
Oh, I love this. All
Talk
right.
about memes, because I mean, memes are
love
like.
this for us.
I still stick to the fact that like whoever figures out, whichever person that's on a label figures out how to like get memes to be incorporated as their like aesthetic the most, like is gonna take over this generation. And so like we're just always memeing, not even for that, just because it's what is a part of us. It's just a part of us. And so Marty, you can just.
I will. Yes.
Here we are.
Prim and proper.
So we're gonna back it up for y'all. Way back in the day, I was playing bass guitar with Jared. This was a period of about 1.5 years or 2 years. During that time, we were courting other musicians and just kind of jamming and getting into each other's pockets.
This is all pre-Chaz.
Just figuring out that shit. 'Cause I've been a bass player for 14 years, and like I was doing that because we didn't have any other musicians. I was still rapping the whole time, and during that time, I was schooling Jared on the whole hip. I opened his whole world to hip hop. Like I gave him like a master class.
Nice.
So during that time, we kind of had some prog shit type stuff we were doing. Little primacy, little like, whatever. But throwing names around, like what would our name be for just a project with us two?
Just Jared and Marty.
Lot of names came up. We were tossing around prim and proper as a name. We're like prim and proper. What about prim and proper? Like that's kind of cool. No, we quickly got just shat on. like
Shut down.
dude, it's so dumb. Like prim and proper. Like to the point, yeah. No, it's so okay. We're like, it's fine. So it basically devolved into this. It became this like mock band. It's like just this like British like pop punk bullshit, like with like skinny jeans and like the black wigs and the eyeliner and shit. So it's basically and we even have like actual like songs as prim and proper.
I didn't know that.
But basically it's like I with prim and proper, I'm prim, he's proper. Oh, I'm proper. Like, oh, great show for you tonight. All right, like, so basically, if you want to hit me with it.
No.
So, all right, go ahead. So we do all these songs, and it's like all the same, like.
It's terrible.
It's just like imagine
Am I
it's
about
like
to get
this
a Tiny
stupid.
Desk concert?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Absolutely, really. So if you would just.
Oh yeah.
Literally everything just like. Alright, like, so it's like a little faster here. I'll start and then you go.
Okay.
So it's like we have shit like this. It's like I'm not alright. I'm not okay. So ask me if I'm alright because I'm not. I'm not alright. I'm not okay. So then everyone's like, alright. So we got and it's just all sorts of dumb shit like that. So we have like I'm misunderstood. No one understands me. Not even my mum. Not even my dad. Not even my grandma. Not even my dad.
The idea of trying to figure out what it is to be doing the right thing on stage leads you to be doing the wrong thing so many times that it's almost fun to save some of those wrong things in its own like show.
Yeah. Right. So we're throwing around the idea of prim and proper opening for Chaz. So you might see this. Hey, we've been cooking. What was the other one? Oh, bully on the government. Bully on them. Bully on the government. I got much cat for them.
I think a lot of it is also inspired from like, because interviews are not like a thing that we like to take super seriously.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of the people that we look up to did not. I mean, like, if you look at how the Beatles used to do interviews, that's like some of my favorite stuff. To read transcripts or to just hear how they would like fuck with people.
Damn, we should have just
that
trolled
way.
Yeah,
but like I feel like that also has part of it because he's got that like I feel like the proper is almost like the Ringo character.
Oh, bro.
Not to shit on Ringo. Peace and love, you know. Like
like this song's called "I Got Myself," and then he goes, "I got myself." Here he goes. Like, I got myself. I was lashing out.
But
it really hurts.
Poor Ringo, though.
I regret this decision. Yeah. So we got. I mean, we have one where we're like, oh, this one's for our friend Steve, who's recently passed. It's a dedication to him, Steve. All right. For Steve. So, like, I'll start, like, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, Steve! I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, I just can't do it. He's just recently passed last week. We're gonna try and get it together for you, Steve. We're gonna do it, alright? And you just keep going. Like, you just never get through the song.
Never get through the song.
That's fucking...
So is there a rest of the song at all?
No.
That's fucking great. That's... Alright, nice.
Yeah, you've got to do that.
Prim and proper is gonna happen when the time is right. It's blossomed into something way bigger than we ever thought it would be.
Yeah, I don't think they thought it would last, but we just kept bringing it up. Like...
I think we just got Gab Street's first ever TV tray concert.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Once again, we're Prim and proper.
That's what Jared sounds like when he tries to speak British. Basically. Yeah. Shout out Jared. I always love Jared and I have like a love to hate each other relationship. Not actual hate, but it's just like I see Jared walk in the room and I'm like, oh yeah, huh? About time you showed up, buddy. Like just that kind of, like,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
it's so great. Fun.
I love that.
Yeah, they couldn't be here. They're all working, but shout out to the rest of the Chaz guys.
We'll get them on here. Don't worry.
Shouts to Prim and Proper.
Shouts to Prim for real. I wish they could be here today.
Wouldn't that
but
be
Steve
nice?
Died and they're at the funeral.
right.
So,
very sad time
for Steve.
We'll get everybody on the show eventually. I do not have the space for it at the moment, but we will. And as you can tell, if you listen to the past few episodes, the mic quality is a little bit less than before. So once we get a little bit more equipment, and we might even get a microphone for everybody. Do the whole shebang, so that would be really cool. Guys, how can people find you on the internet? Where can they find your shit?
Facebook, Instagram, anywhere really. Google, just Google the Emperor Chaz. You'll see all the.
We have a website,
Bandcamp. It's all on Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp. Like everything is on.
It'll link you on all that.
We've got our own website actually. It's just emperorchaz.com. So
absolutely, that'll take you. That's kind of like a one-stop shop.
Is there merch there?
There is merch that we do have. It's just that
DM us for merch. Merch.
You'll have to DM us for merch.
Okay.
That's kind of where we're at. Is we're just like, we'll mail it to you.
I can respect that.
EP's out on all major platforms.
Yes.
Also YouTube, and we get like the free ones too. So
we have
check
just
that
lots
shit out.
of singles on the way.
Grow Rider.
It'd be cool.
Big shit popping and little shit stopping. You know, that's what we do.
I'm excited, man. I can't wait for your new music. That's going to be awesome. Do you guys have any shout-outs to give?
Shout out Gab Street for...
Thank you.
First of all, shouts Gab Street.
Thank you very much.
Shout out Wendy's.
Shouts Wendy's.
Shouts out Boolin at the Wendy's.
Yeah, Dave, sponsor me.
Shouts to all the day ones that have been coming to our shit.
Shout out Quaker Oats.
Quaker Oats.
This is like a whole nother chat.
OG.
Just don't
Shout
worry
out
about
Quaker Oats.
Quaker Oats.
Sponsor Jared.
Shouts to White Claw. Shouts to Old Crow. Shouts to Adidas. Damn, Shouts to like all the dope food places we fuck with around here. Shouts to Baba's, Shouts to Exotic Latino Grill, 14-0 parking lot.
Shouts to Prim and Proper.
Oh, shouts to Prim and Proper, of course.
Again, wish those guys could be here. It'd be a great time.
In spirit. They're with us in spirit.
They are, yes.
And yeah, just shouts to everyone, like all the... There's too many to
to name, like all the bands and people that.
Shouts to all of our people that have been coming to. We have like
Definitely
very specific roadies that have been coming
there's
to a lot of our
specific
shows.
big shouts to Joel's Beeves, of course.
Yes.
Now Dottie, who goes by Photo.
Yeah. That's another account.
She's been doing some OG ass shit, and
Hip Hop
most
Columbus.
importantly, Hip Hop Bus.
Shout out Kenneth Jackson.
Episode
Episode 15. We love you. Thank you, Kenneth.
Kenneth Jackson has been putting in that motherfucking work.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just a fucking national treasure. So, big shouts to Hip Hop Bus.
Love that, man.
Glad to have you on, bro.
Aaron, do you have any shout outs? Shout out Luke Chioka.
Yeah, shout out to Luke Chioka. That's, who else? Just shout out to the whole squad. Like, shout out Kevin, shout out Cabby, shout out Luke, shout out Cory.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out Gage.
The unofficial
Thank you
member
for
of
starting
the
the
squad.
show.
Yeah. Yeah.
With me.
Isn't it hard to think of those like on the spot? Like I was
Our
trying to
yeah.
think of influences, and I already have so many I missed.
Yo,
I'm like,
shout, big ups, like, shouts Flamin' Hot Cheetos, like, shouts, like, bruh. Shouts LaCroix, for real.
Oh, for real, though. We were just
Yeah.
talking about that.
We had that OG Kroger shit earlier.
Oh,
Seltzer
yeah.
water.
Kroger brand.
Kroger brand. That's that cheap
That's
shit.
right.
Shout out that Coinstar machine that was broken, and I still have the jar of coins in my car.
Oh, fuck that. Nah.
That's ass.
Shout out rescinded. That's bullshit.
Damn. Alright, guys. Thank you so much. This was a fucking great episode. And we will see you guys next week. Remember, Gap Street, my pedestrians.
Come see us Thursday. Come see us Thursday at Space Bar with Mr. Anderson and Finkel.
It'll be a fucking awesome show. Thank you so much. We will see you next week with episode 24. I don't know what it's going to be yet, so I'm not announcing it. Haha.
But it's